It was not my fault. Believe it or not, something drove me off the road. A pair of hairy hands closed over mine. I felt them as plain as ever I felt anything in my life. Large, muscular, hairy hands. I fought them for all I was worth, but they were too strong for me. They forced the machine into the turf at the edge of the road, and I knew no more till I came to myself, lying a few feet away on my face in the turf. Hello and welcome. So today's video is going to be a little ghost story, and this is actually the very first ghost story I ever heard as a child. The B3212 road between Postbridge and Two Bridges on Dartmoor, Devon seems just like every other road across the country, but it holds a dark secret. The road is haunted by a pair of disembodied hands which grabs hold of the steering wheel and forces the vehicles off the road. Reports of the ghostly hands started around 1910. Drivers reported that their vehicle would swerve violently and steer off the road as if something had grabbed hold of the steering wheel. Most of the time, the cars and motorbikes ended up in the ditches at the side of the road with their drivers and passengers unhurt. But in 1921, the hairy hands claimed its first victim. Dr. E.H. Elby worked as a medical officer at Dartmoor prison. In June 1921, he was travelling along the B3212 on his motorcycle combination. His two daughters were with him in the sidecar. Suddenly, his motorcycle veered off the road. Helby died, but the two girls survived. The girls told how he shouted at them to jump to safety while he fought to stay in control of the motorcycle against an invisible force. Some weeks later, there was another accident. A coach was travelling along the road when the driver suddenly lost control. Several of his passengers were hurt when they were thrown from their seats. A cyclist also reported that a pair of invisible hands had grabbed his handlebars and forced him off the road. Then, on the 26th of August, an army captain was travelling along the road on his motorbike when it left the road. He said that a pair of invisible hands had forced his motorbike off the road. After this, the tale of the ghostly hairy hands of Dartmoor was picked up by the London newspapers, and the story went nationwide. But not all of the hairy hand hauntings happened to moving vehicles. In 1924, folklore enthusiast Theo Brown was camping on the moor. She said that she saw a hairy hand attempting to get into her caravan. I knew there was some power very seriously menacing us near, and I must act very swiftly. As I looked up to the little window at the end of the caravan, I saw something moving, and as I stared, I saw it was the fingers and palm of a very large hand with many hairs on the joints and back of it, clawing up and up to the top of the window, which was a little open. I knew it wished to do harm to my husband sleeping below. I knew that the owner of the hand hated us and wished us harm. And I knew it was no ordinary hand, and that no blow nor shot would have any power over it. Almost unconsciously, I made the sign of the cross, and I prayed very much that we might be kept safe. At once the hand slowly sank down out of sight, and I knew the danger was gone. So we don't actually know who the hairy hands belong to, but there are some theories about this. It has been suggested that the hands belonged to an escaped convict from Dartmoor prison, and also that they may have belonged to some Dartmoor beast. It has also been said that they belonged to a man that was killed in an accident on the road. And there is one story that says that the hands belonged to a man who used to work at the gunpowder factory at Powder Mills. He had gone to work wearing hobnail boots, and the hobnails on his boots had caused a spark on the stone flooring of the factory, which had caused the gunpowder to explode. This explosion had killed the man, leaving just his hands. Now, the last theory is a sort of supernaturally theory, and this theory says that in the area where the road ran through, there was a Bronze Age settlement, and the hands actually belong to a Bronze Age person who is angry that his resting place is being disturbed. But it may turn out that it is just the road That is the problem. The combination of a narrow, unlit road with lots of unexpected turns in it and people not knowing the road that well could result in some accidents. So that is the story about the hairy hands of Dartmoor. I hope you enjoyed this video. If you did, like and subscribe, and I'll see you next time. Bye.